Los Angeles Rams. Three-quarters of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds, so really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. Going to give it to Jacobs. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Ram territory. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
They'll run here. It's Murray. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. Remember, that was less than a yard. That was not a full yard. That defense, they were having none of it.
Yeah, the surge the offensive line was seeking actually occurred on the other side of the ball. They reestablished the line of scrimmage and stuffed them.
He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll begin on the ground with Akers. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. Well, this defense for the Raiders, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball, or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright.
Line of scrimmage, the 28 now as they come up on 2nd and a couple. Back to throw, Stafford. Quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
Third and 2, Stafford. Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Rocky Sin, and his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, all right, because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape.
Room for Jacobs there on first down as he takes this one forward for a pickup of about 7.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. He'll find Goodwin here on the right side.
And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a 2nd and just a few inches left. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. On play action, now Carr. He goes right back to Adams. That's complete. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down. Again, they'll throw with Carr. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. Touchdown, Raiders. Foster Moreau, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Raiders are on the board first on the road here in L.A. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away.
And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving. And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive. Come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
They'll run on first down with Akers.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
And the Rams have 3-9 now on the year. Yeah, they've lost 3 straight here. And it kind of goes without saying, I guess, but they could certainly use a win.
Yeah, no doubt about that. There's a difference between a losing stretch and a losing streak. And right now, they're not playing their best football, but if they were to fall here, and now you're looking at going 4 games without a win, things can start compounding themselves pretty quickly from this point forward.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A yard in the wrong direction makes third down tougher. Third down and 9. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here.
And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Jordan Berry out to punt on fourth down.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 23. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. They'll run right here with Jacobs. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Give them 12 yards that time, and a Las Vegas first.
A good run there off right tackle in an old school NFL football. The right side, the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Once again, it's Jacobs. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Carr going to throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Jacobs. Yeah, this is only going to be a gain of 2. He needed 3. It's 4th and 1.
Always important as a defender on 3rd down to keep the play in front of you and make sure you don't give up enough space that they can make a move on you in the open field. Try as he might, he wasn't able to get to the 1st down marker. Excellent defense, good tackling.
The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
They are currently mired in a losing streak. Now they get the short week for the Thursday night game. Do you see that as a potential positive, or is this just more in what has been really a string of bad luck for them?
Well, to me, it comes down to leadership, and leadership's got to spin it into a positive and make it an advantage for them. Yes, we're in a losing streak. Yes, no one thinks we can win, but we have the resources we need right here in this room. Let's go ahead and play better. Let's hang together and shock the world a little bit. Put it all together, they've got a chance of coming out with a W.
Throwing on second down. Stafford got a man open. It's Tyler Higbee. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Stafford looking to throw on 3rd and 1.
They'll get this into the hands of Van Jefferson.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The defense surrenders a 13-yard pass play there on 3rd and 1. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Now Stafford. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there for us in incompletion.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Stafford now to throw. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down. Now Jordan Berry on to kick this one away. They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42.
And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started.
Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. Jacobs going to try the middle. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
2nd down, Jacobs once more.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
The teams go nickel here defensively on third. Carr. And that will be incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at about the 14. That'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10 at their own 22. Here's Stafford. That's into the hands of Tutu Atwell. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 15 yards there for number 15. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Throwing is Stafford.
Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Rocky Sin. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Well, look, we're watching a quarterback here that's obviously been around for a long time. That's a throw he wishes he had back.
He certainly does, but as you well know, this is a guy that's used to taking a few chances, used to fitting it into tight windows. These are throws that he's made before. Didn't happen to get it completed in this case.
On play action, it's Carr.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
These are the situations that really test the defense, those sudden changes. They're already inside field goal range to start the possession. Their goal now, keep it to a long kick, if indeed they end up trying one.
That one complete to Horsted. Touchdown! Jesper Horsted, 35 yards.
And the Raiders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0.
Raiders 14, Rams nothing.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay.
Stafford going to give this to Akers.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now Stafford. And that is incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now it's Stafford. And this is caught. Touchdown, Rams. Allen Robinson, 34 yards. And the Rams are on the board here in the final minute of the first half. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that'll make our score 14-7. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And with a 14-7 lead, they might just be happy to take this thing on into the tunnel. Carr now on 1st down. Steps away to his left. Wide open receiver complete. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
They fake the handoff. Now Carr. And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes. But the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. They'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now Carr. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Ramsey. And the Rams are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line. Well, this was a 14-0 game not too long ago. Things were looking pretty good. And then you give up the touchdown on the last drive. Now the interception.
So that's a lesson in trying to stay vigilant, isn't it? You have to stay on top of things. Can't relax too much because, as you noted, things change. Now they've got to go out there and get a spark going again and try and slow down this comeback.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And maybe a chance for a quick completion and then a long field goal try. We'll see. Stafford's throw pulled in by Jefferson. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. Final shot before the break. Stafford. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. So we've reached halftime with the visiting Raiders out in front. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Rams set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail here as we resume play. And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter three.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well. They've kept them around in this game. Now they got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got
he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Rocky Sin. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line.
Well, I certainly think that we're seeing a big reason why this team is struggling to put points on the board so far, because too many of their drives have ended in turnovers already, and we still have almost... football yet to play.
Now after the INT, it's Carr going for it all. And that is incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw here. And his throw here is incomplete.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure, or do they play coverage on this down?
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down.
And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Carlson able to put this one through, and they will move up by 10 now, 17-7.
So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
On 2nd down, back to Henderson.
And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already, and it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
Back to the air, Stafford on second down. He's going to try and go deep again, and that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down.
Well, the passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can do it.
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now fourth down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. One, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But two, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had a field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you.
He's got a man, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
As we've seen over the years, offense coordinators will often ease their way into drives. Many of them don't want to risk a turnover or put their defense in a bad spot, but not in this case.
Not at all. Forget about easing into it. They took a shot. It worked. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
We know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. They keep it on the ground, but this time it's Murray. Pushes past him. And some room to roam now. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Now a play fake. Carr. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
Well, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night in the NFL. Third quarter, 2nd and 10 coming up.
Carr with a play fake to Jacobs.
And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to third down.
They haven't been able to stop them so far this series, but getting a nice little stand from their defense now.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. To throw is Carr. The throw finding its target, the tight end Horsted. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. Here's Jacobs. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. out as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
19-yard line.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
The opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll fake it. Now Stafford. Stafford for the 3rd time is intercepted. Anthony Averett picks it, and he'll take this back down inside the 20.
And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And they'll get him down right around the 16. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. And 3rd quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners.
Touchdown, Raiders! 3rd touchdown pass now for Derek Carr. And the Raiders are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead is now 24.
Raiders 31, Rams 7.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one,
back now here on EA Sports. It's the Rams trailing, but they do have the football as we start the 4th and final quarter. On 2nd down, back to Henderson. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Henderson will try and run for the 1st. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down, 3 yards in the wrong direction.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Barry on to punt as he gets this one away. Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. Well, they come out and take a look at him. We will step aside for just a moment. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the 4th quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. so they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a first down.
Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll take it inside the 40 to the 39-yard line.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
On third down, Murray. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll take it into the end zone for the Raider touchdown.
Oh, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line.
And you see a lot of frustrated faces as they are inching closer to a 4th straight loss.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down. To throw is Stafford. Throw right side, going to be taken in by Henderson. And he is going to lose yardage here. But despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. Second down. Stafford.
He's got his man downfield. It's Robinson.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your...
On Stafford for the 3rd time is intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Merrick. And the Raiders force the turnover. They'll take over at their own 27. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 25-yard line.
Another run from Murray on 2nd down.
They find some open field here. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
83 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
He continues to be a major factor carrying the football here into the 4th quarter, Charles.
Another big gain on the ground. Big guys working strong up front. A lot of them not just taking care of business at the line of scrimmage, but getting into the linebacker spots and taking care of the second level as well.
And they're taking advantage of everything right now on the scoreboard with that lead. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Well, partner, nothing but praise from me for this offense. They have been tremendous all night long. They knew what they had to do to unlock the defense, Let's face it, this has been a master class in offensive football that we've been here to witness.
Now he's able to break through one tackle, but it slowed him down enough that he could only manage getting back to the line of scrimmage.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. They go with Murray again.
And this defense not ready for that one as he'll take this down inside the 25.
That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So for Las Vegas, the win is their 5th of the year as they move to 5 and 8. And they'll get a few days to savor this one before they take on the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, for L.A., it's unfortunately more of the same as they'll fall to 3 and 10 on the year. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers.